I used to believe that everyone was watching me, judging my every move. One time, I walked into a coffee shop, ordered a drink, and made my way to a table where my friend was waiting. The whole time, my mind raced with anxiety, convinced that every person in the room was staring at me. I kept wondering if I was acting strangely, if my posture looked awkward, or if there was something embarrassing on my face. Instead of enjoying my coffee or the conversation, I was too busy overanalyzing how I sat, how I held my cup, and whether people were silently criticizing me. It felt exhausting, like I was constantly under a microscope. But the real question is, was I actually doing anything wrong? Or was it all in my head? Sometimes I can't help but think there's something wrong with me for feeling this way. The same thing happens when I go to the gym. Since I'm still a beginner, I sometimes struggle with my form and I worry that others are watching and thinking I look ridiculous. Every time I lift a weight or try a new machine, I wonder if people are silently judging me for doing it wrong. It's like I can't shake the feeling that everyone around me is noticing every little mistake. This isn't just at the gym, it happens everywhere. At a party or family event, I overthink how I'm talking, laughing, or just standing there. I imagine people picking apart everything about me, even when they probably aren't. It's as if there's an invisible spotlight following me, making me hyper aware of every little action. Even when I'm trying to improve myself, like going to the gym regularly or writing every day, I can't escape the fear of judgment. What if my family or friends think my workouts are pointless? What if they mock me for spending so much time writing? Instead of focusing on my progress, I get stuck in my own head, overanalyzing every possible reaction. It's exhausting, and sometimes I wish I could just do things without worrying about what everyone else thinks. I used to believe that people genuinely cared about everything I did. Whenever I posted something on social media, whether it was a photo, a status update, or even just a story, I felt like others were watching, paying attention, and maybe even judging or admiring me. Sometimes I'd go to a small local shop, pick up a few things, and if I ran into someone I knew, I'd imagine they'd go home thinking about it. If I traveled or shared a vacation picture, I assumed people were interested in where I was going and what I was doing. But over time, I learned something important. Most people don't actually care. And it's not because they're mean or cold, it's because they're busy living their own lives. Everyone has their own problems, their own worries, and their own goals to chase every single day. The truth is, they might glance at our posts, think about us briefly, and then move on. 5 minutes later, they're back to dealing with their own challenges, family issues, stress, emotions, or just getting through the day. Even when we mess up, no one stays focused on our mistakes for long. Maybe they notice, maybe they even gossip a little, but soon enough, they forget. People aren't thinking about us nearly as much as we think they are. And once I realized that, it was strangely freeing because if no one truly cares, then why should I stress so much about what they think? I remember seeing a guy fall off his motorcycle once. It wasn't a serious crash, just a minor slip, and people nearby rushed to help. Don't worry, he was fine. But here's the thing. Did I spend the next 24 hours obsessing over why he fell or how it happened? Almost immediately, my mind shifted back to my own life, my gym routine, my work, my goals. I stopped thinking about him because, honestly, I had my own things to focus on. And that's the reality for most people. We overestimate how much others care about us. We convince ourselves that everyone is watching, judging, and remembering our every move, but they're not. They're too busy with their own lives. Now, I'm not saying this mindset makes us narcissistic. It's actually pretty normal to worry about how we're perceived. The problem starts when we let those imagined judgments control us. We shouldn't shape our actions based on what others might think. Their opinions shouldn't dictate our choices, unless, of course, their feedback actually helps us grow. Sometimes people do give us advice, and our first reaction is to get defensive. But if we're honest, we might realize they're right. That's when we have to swallow our pride and use it to improve. The key is recognizing when outside opinions are useful and when they're just noise. So what's the lesson here? Focus on yourself, train hard, get enough sleep, wake up early, work on being 1% better every day. When you stop worrying about how others see you, you gain real freedom. Freedom to make mistakes, freedom to learn, and freedom to grow. So what if you park in the wrong spot or order the wrong meal? So what if you say something awkward? What matters is that you learn from it and keep improving. At the end of the day, the only person's judgment that truly affects your life is your own. So block out the distractions. Have tunnel vision. It's just you working to become the best version of yourself. And that's all that really counts.